When life gets unpredictable, preparation matters. In medicine, it's all about staying alert, ready for whatever comes through the door. On the road, it's no different. That's why Volvo designs vehicles to help anticipate risk, reduce harm, and protect lives. The Volvo XC90's advanced safety systems inspire confident decisions wherever the road takes you. The Volvo XC90, for life. Proud sponsor of the Pit Podcast. Learn more at volvocars.ca/safety.
All right, welcome back to the Elias Makos Show in this Tuesday edition of In Transit. Daniel Breton is on the line, President and CEO of Electric Mobility Canada. And with all the news out of Washington, D.C. on Donald Trump rolling back some of the initiatives, Green New Deal, certain Joe Biden electric vehicle policies, I said, let's get Daniel on the program. Need to discuss this and more. Daniel, welcome back to the show.
Good morning.
So, I mean, the writing was on the wall for a lot of what we heard yesterday. And I just want to know, what do you think the effect is? What's the trickle down here to Canada on the announcements made by Donald Trump?
Well, according to what we read so far, from his executive orders, it says here that the U.S. government will eliminate the electric vehicle mandate. But the truth is that there is no federal electric vehicle mandate. It's a U.S. EPA regulation that doesn't force any manufacturer to sell electric vehicles, but they have been pushing against regulation, calling it an electric vehicle mandate, even though it's not the truth. So I'm expecting that they will roll back the U.S. EPA regulation, which is exactly what Donald Trump did during his first term. He actually rolled back the Obama regulation, so I'm expecting him to roll back. He did roll it back approximately 80% back in 2019. So this is becoming very confusing for car manufacturers because, manufacturers have to adjust accordingly to regulation. And when you're going forward and backward and forward and backward, after a certain time, some manufacturers are just saying, to hell with it, we're going to keep moving forward because, we cannot go back and forth, with our policies and plans and manufacturing. It becomes too complicated. The other one is to end the state emission waivers that have the effect of limiting sales of gasoline-powered cars. So that one is specifically for California and the 15 states that are following California U.S. EV mandate. So it means that there are ZEV mandates in 16 states, starting with California. California already said that they were preparing for a battle on this front. We have seen that in the past because back in 2000, when George W. Bush was president of the U.S., and with two car manufacturers who were suing the California government against that mandate, that legal battle lasted for 8 years until Obama was elected. And then when Obama came in, they let go of the lawsuit until Trump got elected. And then some started suing again. And then Biden was elected. They let go of the lawsuit. So my guess is that some lawyers are going to make a whole lot of money, but nothing is going to really change. That one is very interesting. The third one is they're not saying, because you heard me say eliminate the electric vehicle mandate and state emission waiver. Third one, consider eliminating subsidies to favor EVs. So he didn't say eliminate, he said consider. In his first term, he said that he wanted to eliminate the $7,500 tax credit, but he did not. So when I read consider instead of eliminate, I'm thinking that there might be an opening to keep the rebate or some form of rebate for EVs in the U.S. because, these words, they have a meaning. And last but not least, and the Green New Deal, as you mentioned, specifically, they're talking about the NEVI program, which is the Charging Infrastructure Program. But funds have been allocated to states already until 2027, which means that we will be close to a next election. So you see, the devil is in the details.
The devil's in the details. And also, I guess, for us here in Canada and in Quebec, I guess we have our own mandates or, whatever you want to call them. We have our own regulations that have been in place here. But does that affect us in Canada? If U.S. manufacturers, maybe apply some pressure, say, hey, look what they're doing in the U.S. We want you to back off a bit. Do you think that could happen?
They've been applying pressure ever since day one and even before that. I mean, some car manufacturers have been advocating against, the ZEV mandate in California for 35 years. So there was a press conference last week from some legacy automaker association saying, now that the rebate is gone on the federal level, we should end the federal mandate. But I mean, it's not as if they were in favor of it at any point in time. So they're looking for excuses to go back against regulation. There will be an election between now and the next couple of months, I'm expecting, in Canada. So we'll see what happens, whether with Liberal Party, the Conservatives, the NDP, and the Bloc Québécois, regarding the regulation. Obviously, some car makers always put pressure to end the regulation because there've been some car manufacturers, let's face it, have been opposing regulation going back 80 years, against seat belts and anti-pollution system and airbags. So this is nothing new.
Okay,
But the manufacturing side, to me, is I would say the trickiest one. Because now that we have seen that it seems that the Green New Deal, a lot of money has been allocated already for EV manufacturing in the U.S. and battery manufacturing in the U.S. But moving forward, if they decide to take away the 45X clause, which means that you get a certain amount of subsidy, $45 U.S. subsidy per kilowatt hour of battery manufactured, and since Canada is aligned with that 45X clause, this means that this could significantly reduce the subsidies for battery and EV manufacturing in Canada, which possibly could have an impact on EV supply chain in the country.
All right, Daniel, before I have to let you go here, I do want to get one other item in here, and that's about U.S. truck maker PACCAR. I hope I'm saying that right, PACCAR, PACCAR. Apparently,
PACCAR, yes.
They're planning further investment in Quebec. Can you tell us what you know on this? And it has to do, right, with electric trucks.
Yeah, and I don't know a whole lot, to tell you the truth, but looking at what's happening right now with the threat of tariffs, I'm going to wait and see before we start saying, that it is going to happen in Canada. I'm not even sure.
Really? So there is an effect right there, right?
Oh, there is, absolutely.
That a big manufacturer may readjust their plans because they're already in Quebec, right? PACCAR is already there.
They've been in Quebec for a long time, and they've been getting substantial subsidies in the past from the Quebec government.
Ah, gotcha. And do you think the Quebec government has an appetite for further subsidies in light of everything that's happened with Northvolt and some other deals the Quebec government has made?
Well, I think right now, item number one of everybody's agenda is the tariff threats from Donald Trump.
So wait and see, basically, once that's settled.
Exactly.
Okay, Danielle, listen, thanks for your insight. Always appreciate it.
My pleasure. Have a good day.
Daniel Breton is President and CEO of Electric Mobility Canada.